What's up, Niner Faithful? Johnny Dale back again with another episode of 49ers Playbook, the channel where we're trying to answer the whys and hows of each game. On this episode, we're going to dive in and take a look at the passing game and Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that this was probably one of Jimmy Garoppolo's best games as a 49er, probably just period. So we're going to take a look at everything that went down in the passing game. He made a lot of great throws, a lot of good reads. So let's just dive in. This first play, we ended up having a good completion. Now, I'm actually going to give him a little bit of a hard time, but it's hard to give him too much of a hard time considering that he completed the pass. What's going to happen is Pittsburgh's going to come out and they're just going to give us a cover 3 look. You see the deep safety, the corners are going to be on the outside. That's all we'll really focus on right now. Again, if you've seen my videos, you've seen me talk about these coverages several times. And what we're going to do is we're going to run play action that's going to suck up these underneath defenders. We'll just draw a little arrow here, draw a little arrow here. And then we're going to run, this is Marquise Goodwin, we're going to run him on a deep post, so that's vertical route. And what we're going to do is take George Kittle and we're going to run him on a deep over or speedo route. This is what you call a speedo concept, not like the swimwear, thank God, but this is a speedo concept. The idea is you're going to clear out this side of the whole deep side of this field, and then you're going to run a route behind the linebackers across the deep portion of the field. We used to run this a lot with Jerry Rice back in the day, so this is a concept that's been around for a while. The only thing I'd like to see here is Jimmy see this free safety bail out of the middle of the field early, and if he sees that, we might have a touchdown here. So you see the play action. The play action brings the linebackers up. You see that. That's going to open up everything here. Again, it's hard to fault him because this is his primary read on the play. It goes middle to deep. So if the middle is covered, then he throws it deep. So he's on his first read and it's open, so it's hard to say, you shouldn't throw it to the first read if it's open. But right here, when he turns around, this safety, it's Fitzpatrick, he's going to start vacating the middle of the field. You see it right here. He's driving on Kittle's route. That's going to open up the middle of the field. So now you have Goodwin coming with inside leverage across the middle of the field. And so, this is a play, like I said, again, you see Fitzpatrick, he's going to drive on the deep over or crossing route. And then Goodwin's got all this space. I'd like to see him see that and throw it out here and let Goodwin go get the ball. But again, it's hard to fault him too much here because this is his first read on the play. This is where it's designed to go, and he sees it's open. So, he sees that the linebackers are up and there's a lot of space, so he's just going to lay it up over the linebacker to George Kittle, and he makes a good catch on the play. Unfortunately, this drive stalled out right after this because we turned the ball over. That kind of seemed to be a theme throughout the day, but thankfully that's not how the day ended. So let's keep moving here. We're going to talk about this play. I'll show what happens here. We'll run it. It's a nice completion. So let's talk about what happened on this play. So on this play, what we have is now, before the snap, Pittsburgh is going to show a 2 safety cover 2 look. They're going to hide this coverage very well. What they end up doing is rotating late into a cover 1 man. This safety is going to come down, and he's going to be in coverage, and they're going to end up blitzing one of these underneath defenders to actually bring 5 on the play, and then it's just man coverage across the board. So with a single safety in the middle of the field, that was supposed to be a circle, with a single safety in the middle of the field. And sorry, my mouse's battery might be going low. So you have a single safety in the middle of the field. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run a tried and true concept here called a dagger concept. What we're going to do is we're going to motion, this is Kendrick Bourne inside, and we're going to run him on a vertical. He's just going to go vertical, and then we're going to bring this is Deebo Samuel, I believe. He's going to come in on an in route, a deep in. This is just what you call a dagger. A dagger has the vertical from the inside receiver with a deep in following that. The idea is you are vertically stretching a hook curl defender. Again, he's going to see that this is man coverage, and at that point you want to look towards your in routes because those are ones that generally will work, because this corner with cover one man is going to be expecting help to the inside, so he gives up inside leverage, and that helps your in route, and that way your vertical will carry the deep safety out, so the help that this guy is playing for won't be there anymore. So let's run the play and we'll look at how this goes. Here you see they've brought the safety down, they've brought 5 guys on a rush. They're trying to get to Jimmy, rotating coverage late, again, to try and cause confusion. You have the deep safety. The vertical is going to carry him out. Jimmy sees the man coverage. What I love here is that he starts his windup right as our receiver's making his break. He doesn't wait for him to come uncovered. He knows that this area of the field is going to get vacated, and there's going to be a spot right here. Here we see, I love the route. Good play. And we have a good pickup. Sorry, that was Richie James Jr. Excuse me, I called out the wrong player. Sorry there, Richie. Well, we'll keep moving. I love that play. So here's the very next play. Again, we'll run this in real time so you can see it. This was a play that on the broadcast, if you saw the broadcast, looked a little bit tighter than what it was and looked a little more risky than it was. What's going to happen here is we split out George Kittle into a slot. We kind of flex him out a little bit, and here Pittsburgh's going to give a man coverage look because they bring a safety down on George Kittle. So again, they're kind of giving this man coverage look, but what ends up happening is they actually drop into a zone coverage on this one. They're going to just drop into a cover 3 zone. So again, we're going to have 4 underneath defenders, 3 deep, and we're going to run what's called a double in concept. Double in concept, you're going to have what it sounds like, 2 in routes. So here we have one in, it's going to be Juszczyk, who's lined up as a tight end, and then we're going to bring George Kittle on a double in. The thing I like about with Jimmy here is he's going to properly identify, let's draw a line on this guy so we can see him. This guy is going to end up being the hook curl defender in this area, and he's the key read on this play. If you've ever listened to broadcasts and you hear the guys talk about a quarterback reading his keys, this is what they're talking about, is there's oftentimes a key defender, meaning when there's certain concepts that focus on stretching one defender in a zone so that he cannot cover both, and the quarterback is going to read this key defender, and whichever way he goes, he throws it to the opposite route. So we're going to run the 2 ins. So again, this hook curl defender, if he follows the first in, we throw it to the second. If he jumps out on the outside in route, we're going to throw it to the inside in route. That makes sense. And so Jimmy Garoppolo is going to drop back, recognize it's zone coverage, not man, and identify the correct key read and make a good read on this play. Again, it looks a little bit tighter than it is, but you can see here as he drops back, you see Pittsburgh is dropping into a zone, and he's going to identify the key defender right here. He sees that he takes in, and so that's going to open Kittle up right here. Grabs it and puts the ball right on the good spot. Now I do need to correct myself. I said this was a cover 3. It's a fire zone. So I misspoke. I was thinking about a different play. But a fire zone is basically a cover 3 that only has 3 underneath and 3 deep. So again, it's a zone coverage. You can see that by how these underneath defenders are playing their coverage, that it's a zone. And so he identifies the zone, reads it correctly, and puts it in the right spot. I love this play. Jimmy Garoppolo, like I said, he played a very good game. So we're going to jump to the next play, and this is going to be a big play by Kyle Juszczyk. And so let's watch it in real time first. This was the play that everyone loved. Saw him make a diving catch. Good job there, Juice. So let's see how this play turned out. What happens here is Pittsburgh is going to show man coverage, and they're going to have a single safety. What we're going to do is we're going to run a hard run fake, so Juszczyk is going to come up the line, he's going to attack the linebacker. That's going to cause the linebacker to try and take him on with his inside shoulder to keep outside contained. That's what linebackers are taught. As you have a lead blocker coming at you, especially anything on the outside, you're supposed to attack with your inside shoulder and shrug them off, keep contained, and look to attack the ball carrier. Because he sells the run fake so well, this linebacker is going to take himself out of man coverage. Because again, man coverage, so therefore he's not thinking his man's on a route. He's thinking his man's coming to block him. So he's just going to let him go right past him. So here you see Juszczyk is attacking. The linebacker attacks the outside shoulder with his inside shoulder. And by the time he realizes it's a pass, it's too late. And Juszczyk has a couple steps on him. And now he's just going to run to open space. I will say, the safety Fitzpatrick, he's got some wheels, so he gets there. It's either Fitzpatrick or Terrell Edmonds, one of the two. They got some wheels, so he was able to get across the field pretty good. But so that's how this play opens up. It's again, now we beat man, we beat zone. And we beat zone. So, we're beating the coverages that they're throwing at us. They're not just running the same coverage over and over again. So then here's the next play to Kyle Juszczyk, and I love the execution on this play from top to bottom. I got a little happy here. I was about to draw it up, but let's run it in real time. Again, we've had some people ask for that. As you can see here, this is the play that Juszczyk looked like a man. That was awesome. Let's run it back and see how this play works. So on this play, what we're going to do is we're going to motion Deebo Samuel into the backfield. And what we're going to do is we're just going to run him out. Let me put this in red. And make this look like it's going to be a wide receiver screen. And so these guys are going to come up vertically like they're going to be in a wide receiver screen. Now, we catch Pittsburgh in a zone blitz here, and so their defenders are going to attack this screen really hard. And so they're both going to flow this way, and that's going to leave an opening right here for Juszczyk. Because again, we've seen this screen several times where a receiver will come out this way, and these two guys are out here lead blocking. What Jimmy Garoppolo does, again, it's the little things that you do well, is at the snap, he's going to turn and look down at Samuel, and that's what draws both of these defenders down. You can see they came with a zone blitz. There's 5 guys rushing the passer here. And so then, because they're both attacking Samuel as he's coming, that opens up Juszczyk right over the middle of the field. Jimmy Garoppolo lays it in there for him. Juszczyk shows he's a man and picks up 22 yards. Again, a lot of good things going on in the passing game. Now, this play I want to show because this is probably, other than the touchdown, my favorite play that Jimmy Garoppolo made on the day. So let's watch this. When you see this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This was a big boy play. So let's talk about what's actually happening here. One, this is an example of Pittsburgh doing a very good job of hiding their coverage. So they're going to show a single safety, and they're giving a man coverage look. They brought a safety up, and he's pressed on the tight end, and so they're giving a man coverage look. But they're going to drop into just a fire zone. Again, fire zone being 3 deep, 3 underneath. And they're going to take TJ Watt and they're going to drop him into a zone. They're going to put these guys into a zone like this. So you have the 3 underneath and you're 3 deep. And they're going to bring all these guys on a pass rush, including the safety. So here we actually keep the tight end in to block, but because he was expecting TJ Watt to rush and he doesn't, he ends up letting the free safety come by unblocked. So Jimmy here, we're going to run play action. The idea will be to suck up these underneath defenders, and he's going to turn around, see it so quickly, and make a good throw. This is what's amazing to me. So here we'll run it real slow so you'll see here we got George Kittle. He's staying in the block, and he thinks that TJ Watt's coming on a rush. Because again, if you had a free safety and TJ Watt lined up over you, who are you going to think is going to rush and who's going to come and drop into pass coverage? You're going to assume that TJ Watt's going to rush, but he doesn't, and he drops into coverage, and you have the other two. So here you can see the fire zone. You have the zone defenders, the 3 underneath zone defenders, the 3 deep zone defenders, and they're bringing 5 on the rush. And because of the confusion over here with Kittle, the free safety is coming clean. And so when Jimmy turns around, he's seeing a safety coming straight at him. But what he does, and what's so good here, is he recognizes this corner is bailed, he's not in man coverage like they were showing, and that the underneath defenders have been sucked up as he turns. He's going to see this, so he sees the big opening, doesn't get phased by a defender running at him, and is able to put a ball over the underneath defender into Goodwin. This is a phenomenal play. There's very few quarterbacks who can get this ball off and do this with this kind of accuracy. As you see, he's going to turn around and put it right over the defender into Marquise Goodwin. Just look at that play. This is why I said it was probably my favorite play other than the touchdown. This is one of those plays that's why you go out and you pay Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's why we can be confident that with Jimmy Garoppolo we can win a lot of games. Because here Pittsburgh does everything right. They disguise their coverage, they disguise their blitz, get a free rusher at the quarterback, and you still give up a 16-yard gain and then get a 12-yard penalty after, it was 12 yards because of how close it was to the end zone. But these are the kind of plays that Jimmy Garoppolo is making. So thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're going to have another breakdown to continue on the passing game. There's a lot of good things to talk about in the passing game. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'd so appreciate it. You can always interact with me in the comment section or at 49erswebzone.com in the forum. I will also post this on Reddit, so you can, again, also interact in the comments there. Thank you for watching, and go Niners.